Ashton leads, so it's Ashton in the lead from Williams, and then Father Ashton, Paul Ashton in third place. Fourth place is James Dunkley. Fifth place is Simon White. Sixth place is Tony Howe. So it's pretty much the 6 cars we expected to be at the front of the field, Andrew. They head away down Park Straight, briefly out of my sight, but Andrew Ashton got the start he wanted, Andrew. He got ahead of Mike Williams, and as we saw yesterday, when he was in front of Mike Williams, it was very frustrating for Mike Williams to try and get past, but they've got Simon White to worry about as well this time, as well as James Dunkley, who's well in the mix as he was yesterday. So they come down the gooseneck for the first time, lots of twitching. The tyres are still a bit cold, I think, but it is Andrew Ashton, then it's Mike Williams, then it's James Dunkley. I think it's Paul Ashton in third place, then it's James Dunkley. So it's Ashton, Dunkley, and then Simon White. Look, Andrew, Simon White wants to win this race. He's right on the tail of...
Forgive the interruption, but Mike Williams has pulled it off. I've never seen that before. Mike Williams went all the way around the outside of Andrew Ashton on the approach to the base of the mountain, and they were neck and neck all through the mountain and then into Hall Bends. It looked as though someone was on the grass, rally style. So who on earth is going to come out on top? Mike Williams has done it. Mike Williams has done it. That's a sensation. That's the most incredible move I have ever seen at Cadwell Park. And Mike Williams has got the lead from Andrew Ashton. Paul Ashton's third, James Dunkley fourth, Simon White, as you predicted, well up there in fifth place ahead of Tony Howe. Then it's Richard Garrett and Lee McNamara once again leading the class. My goodness!
Yeah, and a great sight these cars make streaming onto Park Straight. So now what's Andrew Ashton going to think of that? As you say, a move he wouldn't have been expecting into the mountain. He would have thought he was guarding that inside line, wouldn't he? And he wouldn't expect Mike Williams to come past him there. So he's having to think about that. What's he going to do as a response to that? At the moment, he's just consolidating his position, I think, Andrew. It's a long race for these MG Metros, 25 minutes, and you've got to preserve the front tyres because they're doing everything on these cars, braking, steering, and transmitting the power. Oh, and a huge moment for the leader, Mike Williams. The back end comes right out at the gooseneck. The dust comes up. He's off the circuit, but he hangs onto it, pulls it back into line. So Mike Williams is really, I think, driving at 11/10, Andrew, and he's trying to build up a lead over Andrew Ashton, but he's not really succeeding at the moment. And Paul Ashton, Andrew's dad, is having a great race as well in those races.
Yeah, I reckon Mike Williams. I've never seen such an incredible move at Cadwell Park ever in my history of being here. That was a wonderful move, and as you say, Andrew would not have been expecting it at all. Wow, all the way around the outside, I don't know. He didn't quite manage to keep on the foot and start the restaurant, but he still managed to stay ahead and pulling away. It's the end of lap 2, and Andrew Ashton, the current champion, has no answer at all. Mike Williams sets the best of the flying laps. No surprise there, 148.764 for Mike. Andrew Ashton already at 1.6 seconds behind, but Simon White up into fourth place now and attacking Paul Ashton.
Yeah, and Tony Howe's moved up a place as well. I can just see in the distance. So Tony Howe moved up to fifth. So Tony having a good race as well. He's moved ahead of James Dunkley. So James Dunkley's lost out. He's the one that's been shuffled down. And Simon White now is right on the tail of Paul Ashton. He's clearly, he thinks if I'm going to get anywhere in this race, I've got to try and make a move now and set off after the leading two. So, and I don't think Tony Howe's out of this race either, Andrew. He's going really well. So they're into the gooseneck, and well, I think Andrew Ashton's closed it up again on that lap. So maybe he had a poor lap the previous lap, I think, but he's closing the gap down now. These two pulling away from a train of 4 cars, which is Paul Ashton, Simon White, and Tony Howe and James Dunkley. So those 4, I think, slightly bottled up behind Paul Ashton, and that's allowing the first 2 to make a break. But that 4 coming from the mountain is very tight.
Down the inside, but he's not quite close enough. The body language from Andrew Ashton and the way he's closing the gap on the flying Mike Williams tells me that Andrew Ashton has by no means given up. He ain't the champion for nothing, and he'll have been
more than a couple of cars lengths behind now as they head down Park Straight. Then it's Paul Ashton, Simon White, Tony Howe, James Dunkley as close as that. They've pulled away now from the next man up, which is the class leader Lee McNamara in 65, and then behind him is Dave James, and the rest stream through. Who's leading the standard class? Is it Terry Bracey Wright again? We'll just hang on to have a look for that, but it was Terry Bracey Wright who was in charge of that class yesterday, Andrew, wasn't it?
It is, Terry, and sorry to interrupt you, but there is a caution yellow waved flag at the base of the mountain, so the leaders are going to have to be very careful. Mike Williams.
There's been a change for the lead. Sorry, Andrew. I don't know what happened at the top of the circuit, but Andrew Ashton's back in the lead again.
Oh, a sensation!
So I was looking for Terry Bracey, right? I missed him. I don't apologise. But yes, you have got wave yellows now. That car is certainly one of the leading cars with that wave yellow score. So you'll have to rely on who's dropping down your timing screen, I think, to find out who it is.
Indeed, well, I'll try and identify because I can't physically see it. Now that's a new drama because the yellow wave flags are full circuit and the signals are on display. The safety car has been deployed, and I suspect, Paul, that is as a result of which has brought out the yellow flags in the first place at the base of the mountain. But of course, safety is of paramount importance. But I must be selfish for a moment and say what a great shame, because that is going to bunch up the field, and all the hard work that Mike Williams and Andrew Ashton and Simon White, who is up to third place ahead of Paul Ashton and Tony Howe and James Dunkley, will sort of be neutralised. But never mind.
Yeah, now this is interesting, isn't it? Because it puts a new complexion on the race, because we're going to have the safety car is going relatively slowly to allow the cars to bunch up behind it. Now, we don't know how long it's going to take to clear the track, but we're going to have a dash to the flag, I suspect, with 3 or 4 minutes left at the end, aren't we? And Andrew Ashton's got that lead from Mike Williams. Simon White got through to third place ahead of Paul Ashton before the safety car came out, so that's interesting. So the safety car has certainly worked in Simon White's favour, hasn't it? Because there was a fairly big gap, probably 4 or 5 seconds between Simon White and the leading two. So Andrew Ashton's going to be sitting there thinking, now I've got to make a clean start when the safety car comes in, and Mike Williams is going to be thinking, well, what can I do at the safety car restart? And Simon White's going to be thinking, can I jump both of them, isn't he? Because Simon's, it's a bit like, Simon's, it's a bit like the British touring car situation. Simon's gradually worked his way up over the weekend, hasn't he? From a troubled practice, 17th start in the first race, a third row start in this race, now in third place in the race. So he's got nothing to lose, really. He's made up everything he needed to do during the course of the weekend. So
that's right. Well, you'll know this is a hobby horse of mine, Paul, but unlike the British touring car drivers, Simon White's actually got to where he is by not hitting anybody.
Absolutely, yes. No, he's done it by clear and fair racing. Now, I think the safety car is slowing them right down in the hope that the safety car only has to do the one lap, Andrew. If they can clear that car, then I think you're going to see the safety car come in at the end of this lap and we can carry on racing.
I think you may well be right. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know, it is a requirement of the racing drivers to catch up.
Yeah, well, everybody's caught. The snake is now beautifully formed, so there's no problem. The back marker, car number 31, I think, is it? Or anyway, the back marker car is now on the back of the safety car.
Steve Hinch train.
Yeah, so we've got perfect safety car train. So and the cars are all in the right order. There's no question that anybody's a lap behind or anything. So a perfect safety car use there, absolutely spot on. Now they're going into the mountain now. Whether they've shifted that car, unfortunately,
I just can't see it. So sorry to.
And we don't know who it is. We know who's dropped off the end of the lap chart.
Not as yet. Not as yet. Again, I'm a duffler because I can't really see the car, but yes, TSL just cars carry an electronic transponder which emits signals the whole time, and when each car crosses the start-finish line, those signals are picked up by the cable buried underneath the circuit tarmac, which is connected to Timing Solutions Limited timekeeping apparatus.
Safety car lights off, Andrew.
Good. So we're racing, and Mike Williams knows it, and he's right on the tail of Andrew Ashton, and to be honest, he's got the best chance yet. He goes down the inside, oh, he's done it! My goodness, Mike Williams is back in the lead. A beautiful bit of momentum gathering there. He got a better judgment of the restart, and he's through and into the lead. Sensation.
That was just what I was talking about, wasn't it? He was thinking all the way that time, the safety car was out, so he's got the jump, so he's back in the lead. Andrew Ashton's shuffled back again, and then he's now got to deal with Simon White, who's right on his tail, and so Simon White's the one who, well, Andrew Ashton's the loser really, isn't he? The big winner of that is Simon White and Mike Williams, so we've still got, what, about 13 minutes on the clock, haven't we? So we've still got a substantial race, so it's not quite a dash for the flag at all. The marshals did a super job in clearing the circuit then. The safety car worked really well. Oh, and a big moment there. Andrew Ashton's had a big fishtailing moment. He's on the grass down the hill. He's not going to be able to get back on the circuit. Oh, he does, right in front of Tony Howe. Oh, Andrew Ashton, you didn't need to do that. So that's put Simon White up to second. Tony Howe down to up to third. Paul Ashton's up to fourth, and I think he's down to sixth now with Andrew Ashton. So a decimate trip down for Andrew Ashton.
I think he might be.
So it's now Simon White, who we haven't seen at the front of the grid of the field on either of these races in his time quicker than Mike Williams. We'll now find out. Well, he did get great. It's going to be great. So great into the
Okay, lap 6 then. Here's the completion of lap 6, and Mike Williams is in the lead. Now then, Simon White, of course, is up into second place, 2.9 seconds adrift. Remember that 2.9 seconds gap. Tony Howe third, Paul Ashton fourth, James Dunkley fifth, and Andrew Ashton in sixth place ahead of Dave James. Lee McNamara leading his class, and Terry Bracey Wright doing a magnificent job leading the standard class.
Yeah, and this is Tony Howe is now under real pressure from Paul Ashton and James Dunkley, and Andrew Ashton's got a bit to make up before he's challenging those cars, and oh dear, that was a heart-stopping moment because he went down the right-hand side down the hill, and the barrier gets pretty close at the bottom of the hill, Andrew, and for a moment this grass is so wet here that and so slippy that